So hello. Now I'm gonna talk about the build and stuff. So from the previous video you could see like I've written the builds until like first buy. So I'm gonna explain a little bit more. So we're gonna get refillable potion and warding totem. So when we are back, like when we first back and then we want to buy some items, right? So what happens if like what's the best situation that you could get is that you have around 950 like or maybe 1025. That would be like the best to 1425 as I remember. Yes. So why is that so? This is because you're gonna get your Stalker's Blade. This one would be the best one if you're playing like a solo queue, and even if you're playing with a team, this one is not bad at all. Cause unless you're like really pro that you want to set up a lot of vision, you won't get the others. Cause it gives you a slow. A slow means that you could get to your enemy quicker. So that would be really important, and it has damage as well, so you could secure your gank even better. And then the reason for buying, the reason for what do I want to say? But the thing is, you don't want to have only 650 gold when you first back, because you don't have other stats. You don't have movement speed and you don't have health. Then the only thing that you could get is your jungle smite, which is not really good because like the top lane or the bot lane would kind of screw you over if they fight you, because you're not really that tanky or really that useful. So what I usually get is, if you have 1425 gold, it'll be really good because you have Stalker's Blade, Ruby Crystal, and your movement speed, and also a control ward. Getting the control ward would be really important because this is one of the part of the jungle that you want to ward if they are gonna constant gank. If you're afraid of getting like counter ganked, then maybe you're gonna put it here, or here, or here. Like these are the places that you want to put your wards and stuff. Okay. But what happens if you get counter gank, like, and then you only have like around 400 gold? Then you have to think about like whether you're gonna lose really hard. If you're gonna lose really hard, then you use 250 gold to buy a Hunter's Potion. So you could sustain it a lot more because it gives you mana and health. But the thing is, gragas, the jungle clear by gragas is pretty good because it doesn't take you a lot of mana. Because if you do it like the full tank way and then max your W, the mana is only like 30. You don't really want to chuck your barrel out because it's 60, and then it gets higher and higher. And then the body slam is always 50, so you only need like a lot of 30 mana, so you're gonna be pretty healthy. So the Hunter's Potion won't be the best buy. So what are you gonna get? Like for me, I might get boots, control ward, or maybe the Hunter's Machete. If you could only secure one of them and you can't buy control ward, it's gonna suck. But like if you only have 350, then maybe if it's me, I might get the Hunter's Machete because I could, because I know how to play gragas. But for you, maybe you're gonna try to get your boots and your control ward because you're tanky enough. Because usually when I play AP gragas, I'm not healthy enough, so I need this one to help my clear. But if you're tanky, you're gonna get your boost and then your control ward. So you could ward one side of your jungle and then hope that they and then at least you know a little bit more. Like if you get countered here and then you put one ward over here, so you know at least they're not gonna come through this way, or maybe you're gonna pop that little fruit so they can't get the fruit to pop to your side, or maybe because usually your bot's gonna ward this side, so it's pretty nice if you ward this if you're losing really hard, or you just want to secure your jungle. If it's blue side, then you put it here. And I always say like pop this one. You don't really want to wish, no, not wish. It's risk someone to use this one to counter you. So it's better that you pop it and then you get over there. So that's the first buys. And then afterwards, you want to rush your Cinderhulk. So it's 1100. If you get a Ruby Crystal already, then it's 700. And then if you get these two parts together, it's 525. So it's 700 and 525. So if you have like 1, 2, 2, 5, that would be great. Then you could get your Cinderhulk immediately. Or if you can't, like, because the first few clears you could get quite some gold, and if you get a gank correctly, then you could get your 1425, because you could still clear the jungle pretty healthy, in a healthy way. But then afterwards, the game's gonna get a little bit more exciting, and there's more action, so you can't really afford yourself to like sit on a lot of gold. So it's better that you get your Cinderhulk like earlier, like 700, then I go back, and then 500 more, and then I get this. Or maybe like you get 700, and then the second, like after you back with the Bami Cinder, and then you ganked again, and then you have like 800. Then what would you do? Then what you usually do is like you upgrade your Cinderhulk, and then think about what you want for the boots, because you really want to upgrade your boots. Yeah. But before talking about boots, I'm gonna talk about the situational items. You might want to get a Sightstone, but it will be really, really optional, like really, really situational. Because if you're playing without a team, proper communication, chances are their team, the enemies, don't have really good communication as well. So you don't really need that Sightstone just for the wards and stuff. But if you really want to get it, then you add your, and then you change. What you're gonna do is you have to change your trinket into a red one. So, like for example, if you get that Sightstone, we're talking about if we're winning. What you want to do is put a ward here, put a ward here, or nah, you want to put a ward here, put a ward here, so you could see whether they're doing like this side. And if you put a ward here, you could see whether they're coming from this side. But if you want to be like really, really specific, you might want to ward this wolf, the blue over here, because they are gonna walk all the way here to get the Grom. So if you ward here, you could already see them coming to get the Grom. And then if it's the wolves, you could see them doing it as well. And also you want to put a ward over there. If you want to do like this, this, and this. And then you put your pink over here. Then you have your whole side over here secure. But if you want to be even more offensive, then you place your pink ward over here. Usually they don't walk into this side, so it's pretty safe to put a ward over here. And then you could get a lot of information. And for the other side, it's similar. You put one over there. You put a ward over here if you're winning really hard, and then put one over here. Yep. And then you put a pink over there. Oh no, usually you put a pink over here. Put one ward, 2 wards, and then your third one. But if you're losing really hard, you want to what you want to do is you want your side of the jungle to be illuminated, because you don't want them to gank through here or counter your jungle entirely if you get your side stone. Usually it's the support's role, but sometimes even if you have only like trinket wards and then a little vision ward, it's still good to do to ward your own jungle. But if you only have trinket wards, it will be good that you put one over here. Usually bot lane will have one ward over here, and then you put a pink ward either here or this way. That's how you kind of secure your place. So you put one here, and then put one maybe a little risky one over there, like one yellow trinket, second one, and then your pink either here or here. Need some grog. But then if you want to, if the their top is winning so hard, and then they're gonna counter your whole blue side, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put one pink over here. It's a little bit trickier. What I usually do is I put one yellow over there, and then one yellow maybe over here, like around this side. Let's get this party started. Or maybe this side, if you can't even go to this area. Sometimes putting a pink in this brush is good as well, but it's situational. Like if the top is winning so hard that it's kind of converting its lead into mid, then maybe this one would be better. But if they're only focusing in top, then you put your pink ward over there. Okay, enough about the vision and stuff. We could talk about the builds again. So what we have been saying is we get the first Cinder Hulk, and then we get boots. So what you have is boots and your Cinder Hulk. So what do you want to get next? So you see there's the second item in boots. First of all, you really want to upgrade your boots first. So what you're gonna do, like as I said before, sometimes when you upgrade your Balmy Cinder into Cinder Hulk, when you back, maybe you have 1,000 gold, so you have 700 for a Balmy Cinder, like from 400 to 1100, but you still have 300, right? Or maybe 400 something. It's not worth that you stay in the base to wait for that 525. So maybe you're gonna get something to upgrade your boots. Maybe this one, or maybe a cloth armor. But what I usually do is I usually get Ninja Tabi. The reason for it is you're gonna be really, really tanky, and then you could tank even the towers. If you get a Mercury Tread, yes, it is good because it has magic resist and it has the tenacity boost. But the thing is, you will find out that the Ninja Tabi could help you to tank like the auto attacks and the towers much more effective. I don't know why, but that's how I feel. But like even though if they have like 2 APs, I still sometimes get Ninja Tabi. Like unless they have a really, really hard CC team, then I'll get Mercury Treads. Or maybe they have 3 APs, but sometimes even if they have 3, I still get Ninja Tabi. So you kind of, what I do is still focus on the ninja tabi. But then you will ask like, oh, if I'm a jungler, why don't I get like mobility boots? That's what they always say. Oh, jungler, you want your mobility. Yes and no at the same time, because for me that's what I feel. Unless you're like really winning a lot and then you want to get to lane and then crush them again, usually after you get to the mid game, chances are your team will fuck up or you will fuck up. So suddenly you really need some tankiness, and then you get your boots of mobility that kind of fuck you up. That's what I feel about you don't really throw that much when you get like these sort of boots. But what I said before was it's about the runes from the previous video description. If you try to get the quints, if you get the one with mobility, which is the movement speed, instead of the attack speed, maybe you want to get like even boots of swiftness or mobility to get really quick and then catch someone off. This would be something that you would do in a build that I'm gonna talk like later. Like there will be a situational focused catch, that's what I call it. So what you do is you want to catch someone off, then that's what you build. But it really depends. Like these are really optional, and I don't really get it too much. It's maybe like 10% of the games, or maybe even 5%. Maybe that's why I'm not in Challenger and stuff, but that's what I prefer. So another thing is, when you get your Cinder Hulk, say if you only have money to get your Cinder Hulk or your Bammy Cinder, and you didn't buy any of these stuff to upgrade your boots, then what you want to do is maybe you want to get like the little parts when you beat. Like sometimes when you beat with 300 after a gank and then you get some objectives, but you're too low, then you go back and then buy these. And then you want to focus on your second item after you get your boots. But there will be times when you get like maybe 1200 gold, and then you upgrade your boots, and then what do you want to get next? You still have like 400 or maybe 500. What do you want to get? So what you usually get is the little parts, like either ruby crystal, cloth armor, or the 450 magic resist one. So the reason for it is I call it the Holy Trinity for Gragas, which is the Cinder Hulk, Iceborne Gauntlet, and a Spirit Visage. Like Iceborne Gauntlet and Spirit Visage are the most important stuff on Gragas, like tanky, but at the same time you have a little bit of damage, and you could catch someone off. I'm gonna explain the Iceborne Gauntlet first. This one is really good, because it has 20% cooldown reduction, it has mana, and it has armor. And what it does is you get the sluggy thing, and it kind of and then you get some bonus physical damage, which is your base attack damage. I'm on it. So it's really for a tanky build. So that's why I in the runes for red, I would tell you to get maybe attack damage or magic pen, because it doesn't really scale with bonus AD. But if you get like the magic damage, the attack damage, it's better for your early clear, because early on they like most of the jungle creeps don't have any magic resists, so it's not really useful for getting the magic penetration. But it will be useful like a little bit later on. But still, you're tanky. If you want to get a little bit of more damage, maybe the magic damage would, like the magic penetration would be better. But yeah. And the thing about the Iceborne Gauntlet is, as gragas, you are really mobile, and then you have something to slow them, so they can't really get away from you. That's why this one is really good. So it depends. When you're winning, maybe a Sheen, because it gives you 10% CDR as well. Or if you're kind of neutral and you still want to get your Iceborne Gauntlet, then get a Glacial Shroud. But the thing is, if you upgrade your boots and you only have 300 or 400 and you want to get your Iceborne, you're gonna think, whether I get this or this. Always get cloth armor, because you don't really do much with the mana. And unless you're like winning, but still, if you're winning, then why get a 250 mana? There's no reason for it. Maybe you like, unless you're really winning really hard, then maybe you want to get the 350, the crystal mana thingy, because you want to get it as a Sheen. But usually it won't hurt if you get armor and mana all together, right? So it's better that you get the cloth armor. That's what I think about. But if you get more than 1000, then yeah, get the Sheen if you're winning. But then there's another thing about the game, is they might not be like armor reliant and stuff. I mean, you won't really need the armor early, because maybe their team, the opponents, have a lot of AP and they're kind of hurting. Then you maybe want to get your Spirit Visage first. But usually I still get Iceborne first, because the slow, the catch, the CDR is too good. But if you really need to get a Spirit Visage, then you could think about what you really want to get first. The Kindle Gem for the CDR, or the Spectre's Cow for a better base health regen. But there will be something really bad for getting these, is that you really don't have a lot of, you will have a little bit of mana issues in the mid game. Yep. So, but the thing is, why you want to get this is you have the CDR, you have better health regen, magic resist, health, and then you increase your healing received by 25%. Why is the healing really important? Look at Happy Hour, the passive. It regains 4% of its maximum health. 4%. So if you get 25 more, it's 25% more. It's 5% in total. It might not seem really important, but it saves you a lot. And also with the base health regen. And usually after that, you're already tanky enough, because you're gonna be really scary, because you have 30% CDR with a crazy slow and tankiness. So after that, I'm gonna talk about if you want to play like solo, and then what's your usual ideal build. It'll be Iceborne, as I said, like Cinder Hulk, like first Cinder Hulk, then you get your boots, Iceborne Gauntlet, Spirit Visage, and then you're gonna think about like what you really need. Usually I get the Omen, which is really good as well, because it has the active that slows people. And the other thing is, because you're getting Iceborne, you're giving up on your Frozen Heart, which slows their attack speed. But if you get Omen, it still reduces their attack speed as well. See, when hit by basic attack, this one. And also you could slow them. And then you get 10% less damage from critical strike, which they buffed it, which is really nice as well. So you get it, and also the more health you get, the passive 4%. Like the more health you get, the 4% would be even more. No, I mean the 5%, because you got your Spirit Visage. and then you get Warlock for crazy health, and altogether it's really good. So that's what you get as a full tank usually. But then if you're like winning really hard, then what do you get? Maybe you could get a Abyssal to swap the spirit away, or maybe build your spirit later. Because the thing is, you still want this one, but the Abyssal is really good because it gives you cooldown reduction. So maybe you swap it out with Warlock. You don't get your Warlock. And then you have Sonya's. A really situational one if you're tanky. There will be times when you're against someone like Syndra or someone that somehow, you don't know why, but bursts you really hard. Sometimes that's really good to get Sonya's, because you want to negate all of the damage in that turn. Yep. And then Guardian Angel, yep. You know why. The Dead Man's Plate is... But why do I call GA an offensive build? It's something really psychological, but the thing is, if you get your GA, you know you have one revive, like one more health, like one more chance. So you could do a little bit more of the risky plays. So it makes you a little bit more aggressive, so that's why I call it offensive item. And then you get Dead Man's Plate. It's another kind of offensive item as well. So if you get this, usually you swap it out with Warlocks. Like all of these items, usually I swap it out with Warlocks. But sometimes you want that 10% CDR, like these, they don't give you CDR. Maybe you want to swap it out with this one. Yeah, I'll take that back. Like GA, Dead Man's Plate, and Titanic Hydra, you swap it with this. These four, you have CDR, then you swap it with Warlock. So Dead Man's Plate, it makes you move really quick, so you can catch someone off. Steric's Gauge is another thing for an anti-assassin build, because it suddenly gives you a Decaying Shield, which is 30% of your maximum health. Look, so you're gonna get really tanky with a lot of health, and you get more base attack damage. Like, so that's why it's offensive. And if you get really huge, your body slam could hit a lot of people as well. But it's really situational. And at Ohm Wrecker, you cancel you just disable their tower. Situational, really situational. Like sometimes when you think you're okay, it's a really stagnant game, but you want to like force a team fight or force an engage, then Ohm Wrecker, it could save you. Titanic Hydra. It's something that you get when you feel like, okay, I'm winning really hard and you want to get ballsy. Yep, it's for fun only. But still, it gives you that kind of like health and stuff. It's still good, but not as good as the others. Like sometimes it's even worse than Ohm Wrecker. Then for the defensive, for solo build, 4 mil. The whole thing explains itself. So what do you want to swap it with? These two. I don't know which one, but you think about it. And then you get, or maybe C0 portal to like counter their push, or if they are really like AP reliant, and then you get the C0 portal because it deters them. Lock it. Depends like how you want it. If you want to give like your full team a shield, maybe if you're against like Oriana, someone like that, maybe you want to get it. Or maybe if you're against like a fire, you want to save someone, maybe that's the thing you're gonna get. And then you have Banshees. Like if they have a lot of CC, even your Mercury Tread can't help you, and you want to engage or at least don't die or save someone, this one would be pretty nice. and sometimes, like what I said, most of the time you still get ninja tabi. So if you want to kind of cleanse something off, it's Banshee is not bad. And then I'm gonna talk about like the focus catch. So what I mean by focus catch is someone that they are really like, they only have some, like one of the opponent is really strong, and all you need to do is catch him off. So what you get is Cinder Hulk, of course these two, Mercury Treads. Sometimes you would swap this one off, but it's the time when you are really good at gragas, and then you know when you want to switch it away. I can't think of a situation at the moment, because even if against a full AD team comp, this one is still good because it gives you the better healing. And then you get Deadman's Plate and Righteous Glory. Righteous Glory, you just charge in and then kill them. Deadman's Plate, really quick. And then your auto, that little discharge could slow them a lot. So with the Iceborne, so that's what you do with it. You charge in with your Righteous Glory, body slam with your out together, get that person into your team and then kill him. It's really situational, but I've won a really good game with it, like maybe, yeah, one only, pretty long time ago, when my whole team was feeding, and then the only one good in their team is the Corki, so I went in with the Righteous Glory, with all the stuff, charge in, he can't run away at all. So what happens if you lose really hard? If you're against a full AD team, then you rush your Frozen Heart. So what you get is still this one, CDR, and then you rush your Frozen Heart. But when you get Frozen Heart, you don't get your Omen. And then you get Ninja Tabi, Spirit. And the thing is, why I don't really like Frozen Heart at the moment is because if you're losing hard, you really still want some HP, like, and it doesn't really slow people, and it's the same as the Iceborne, the CDR, and it doesn't slow, so I don't really like it too much. But when I'm playing with a team, then that's what I get, even when we're like equal to each other, like we're not winning or losing, still I get this one for the whole team. But if you're losing really hard, then you're gonna get this one. But you will find out that even if you get this one, you kind of still get chunked because you don't have enough HP, so that's why you start to get this. And then this, for more health. Because the more health you get, it's more useful. And then also, if you have a lot of health, the Fall Mail would really help you. Because it reflects magic damage equals to your bonus armor, which is your Frozen Heart, and Fall Mail, and Ninja Tabi, and then plus 15% of your incoming damage. If you have more HP, then you get hit harder, like HP wise. So if you times it with the 15%, it's gonna hit even harder on them. So that's why you get Fall Mail, like for the last fight. But if you're losing hard against an AP, you're gonna rush your Spirit, of course, and then Mercury Treads, like full AP until like even Banshees, like if you're still losing Banshees. But you could sometimes get your like either Guardian Angel or CZ Rod. CZ Rod is really good against the magic damage team because they can't really push it, and it's really annoying for them as well. So you kind of swap these two. You decide. So it's the 3 core, and then you decide like which one you're gonna get from these 3. But you're still gonna get a Banshees. So you get 1 and 2, and then lastly you get a Locket, or maybe Locket like in between. You really decide, like this is really situational, and you have your freedom. And then if you're losing to a mixed team, you get Frozen Heart still. 20% CDR is better than the 10%. And then this time you get your Mercury Tread. Because you want some MR. Or maybe you get Ninja Tabi, because look at these, you have MR, MR, 2 MRs. No, maybe you still get Mercury Chest, because it's armor, MR, and it's mixed. So you get Mercury Treads for the tenacity. And because you really don't know when you're going to use it. But if you're losing to a Feign, then of course you get Ninja Tabi. Like, that's really simple. The boots is something that is really tricky. I've been talking about it for a long time already. And then lastly, you get your Warmocks if you're losing hard. Because if you're losing to a mixed team, it doesn't really matter if you get your Guardian Angel. Because if you revive, your team is already dead. You can't do anything. So this is something for the Vision game, the one that I said, okay, really situational if you really get the Ruby Sightstone. So you get your you don't get your Cinder Hub right away. What you do is, after you're back, you get what you get is 650 for Stalker's Blade, plus 800 for your Sightstone, and then another 75 for the Trinket, the Vision Ward. So it'll be 1525. And the same thing is, if you get your Ruby Crystal, you could think about whether you want to upgrade it to Sightstone or you want to get it to a Cinder Hub. But if you're gonna do the Sightstone thingy, then yep, you get your Sightstone first. Or maybe if you really want to build up some really hardcore vision, then you back straight away when you have 650, and then you try to gank, and then you get 800 plus 300 for a boot. So you get your Sightstone, boot, and 75 for the pink ward. And then you switch off to like the red trinket immediately. So that's how you kind of tweak it a little bit. So you get your Sightstone, and then you get Cinder Hub. But don't upgrade it to the Ruby one until at the end. Or maybe the 5th item, I don't know. So then you get Frozen Heart for max tankiness, and then Spirit, and then you get one of these. You decide. And then lastly, as a tanky gragas and you're winning hard, Cinder Hulk, of course, Iceborne again, but this time you don't get Spirit as early, you get Abyssal or Deadman's. So if you get Deadman's Plate, because they have a little bit more AD damage, and then you want to catch people off as well, with a higher speed, moving speed than this one. But if you want to kill someone more, because this one is like, okay, I use a W, charge in, and then discharge, and then you don't have any more. This one is more all-rounded for your damage, but and also it has CDR. That's what you get. You really decide what you really want. But then if you get this one, or you get Deadman's Plate, don't get the other one like straight away. Get the Spirit Visage first. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then lastly you get this one if you're still winning. If you're not winning, then maybe you want to get a GA. Yep. And then lastly, Potion. Gives you a 300 health, 25% tenacity, so that's why I don't really get Mercury Treads too much, because you're gonna get it either way if you get to late game. And then you have a huger size. And Path of Iron, you make your allies move faster. My base is gonna get wrecked, so I'm gonna speak a little bit quicker, faster. So the champion size larger, so what it means is your
inhibitor has been destroyed.
You get a huger size, and then your flash engages is even better because you could get more people. So yep,